Okay. I guess there's no point in mic testing, so let me just get started already. Uh, Tonight is going to be about the demonstration of what I did a few days back, and I'll show you what I'll be showing, what I'll be demonstrating is how I did it. And let me tell you, it's nothing particularly new. It is the same shit that's been going on that every 3D artist does. So it is not really a new topic or any, or it's actually not anything new. It's actually a hot topic. So most people, many people have asked me about how to do that. So here I am. Let me open that. Let me show you what I'm gonna do first about what the demonstration is going to be. Not here. It will be this one. So this is the render that I'm gonna be talking about in this session. Uh, there is no actual concept behind it. This is a model I got from my good friend Vishesh, and uh, the texturing was done by me, and so was the lighting, and all of this shiny things. It really looks desaturated, you can say, but this yeah, 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 yeah. Damn phone calls. So you can see this one has depth of field all the way around. Like the back is also blurred. This front is also blurred with the depth of field. The Z-depth pass is to blame for that, and I'm to blame for that because I think I couldn't set it up properly, so everything got really blurred out, which people said it's not looking really good because there's no real detail that you can see in this, and they said it was kind of too foggy. So mm, I changed it up a bit, and no depth of field whatsoever, and a little less of that a little less of that fogginess as well, so a little more clarity to the environment. So let so this was so this was made by my friend Vishesh. He made it in 3ds Max, so I thought okay, I mean, software is not the barrier for me. I can do it in Max, I can do it in Maya, I can do it in V-Ray, I can do it in Arnold. So I don't want to keep boundaries between my softwares. I want to be like really seamless between softwares. So I have been using Maya for quite some time. I haven't used Max, and I think it has been really long since I last used Max, and I did this setup totally inside of 3ds Max, so kind of felt good because it felt like I haven't forgotten 3ds Max at all. It was like really familiar, and I had no problem with the interface or anything. Like the freedom you get in Maya and the constraints you face with 3ds Max, nothing was an issue for me. I am like totally fine in both of these packages, and so yeah. this open up already? Oh man, fucking crash. Oh, okay. So I installed ZBrush and I think the Gozi plugin is still installed. So yeah, it's giving me that ZBrush error. So it doesn't matter. Let me open that file. Uh, so here it is, and also let me show you one another thing. Uh, this is the render that this is the render that was done by Vishesh, and you have already seen what I ended up in doing. So from this I went all the way to this, 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 this. Let me close them both. No. So this is kind of so this is my scene setup. You can see there's nothing really fancy, just lights and all. Let me unfreeze. I think I'm gonna just unfreeze everything. Yep, that. So the main light shining through these windows, that is and the main light shining through these windows and reacting with the fog and giving you like the Godrej effect, they are nothing but two area lights like these. And for the fog setup I have this gizmo over here, which you can find in helpers and atmospheric apparatus, and this box gizmo. It's a simple gizmo, it's a container for effects like fog and all. And what atmosphere I have used is this VRAY environment fog. You can just select it and you can pick your gizmo from here, from this box. It will be like this, and you gotta add and pick it to add it. So what it will do is render, it will create fog inside of this gizmo, and the lights which you want to react, which you want to the lights you want to be reacting with the fog, you got to pick them inside of this section. Like I have this one, I have this light, I have this light, and this light picked up. This is just a secondary kind of fill light from the outside, from the other end, because it was looking really dark without this. So it's kind of just a fill, a big fill, a really soft one, not really much noticeable. And to light these places I have simple lights over here as well, just nothing fancy, just normal area lights. Let me just maximize this. It's normal area lights, couple of them, and to light this coffin a little, I have these couple of IS lights assigned, which are targeted towards this coffin, and these music symbols, they have an emissive material applied to them, and this part as well, these and these crystals, they have the same emissive material applied to them. uh, so I'm not gonna be showing you how to make this crystal. I actually made it from a script called as Debris Maker. Really handy script. You can make a lot of fun things with this. So you go to crystal and choose the mesh format, and just hit generate. It will generate crystals like this on the origin of your grid at 0 0 0, and then you can place them anywhere. It's very simple, not really anything that I'm gonna have to show you separately. Same goes for this. And what these are, they are just a couple of tapes here and here. This one is for measuring the scene depth for the Z depth pass, and this is just this one is for measuring the height for the fog. I mean, you have to give the fog a good height so that it can be visible in a good manner. Yeah. So just taking beverages, nothing else. Oh. So it's all just this. And one thing more, I have my camera, and you can see it's this spherical kind of film gate for this. What this is actually a lens distortion effect. You can find it somewhere here in lens distortion, and it's a cubic distortion with an amount of 0.1. So let me go to the camera view. As you can see, there is a distortion like this, a spherical distortion in the middle, and if I bump up the amount, it will be better visible. Yeah, it won't be visible in the viewport, so you're gonna have to render it out to see it. So it's basically just this. You can see the effect outside in this film gate like this. 0.1 value is more than enough for the distortion I wanted in this. So yeah, and let me show you my materials real quick. So materials, not anything fancy. I just made them inside of 3ds Max. I did not want to face the trouble of I didn't want to hassle like exporting this whole scene to Substance Painter, having really good UVs, and then doing textures inside Substance, and then exporting them back out and applying them to different shaders in 3ds Max or Maya, wherever I decided to render it afterwards, and then be doing all of that bouncing back and forth between software. So I just did them inside of 3ds Max. So what I have done here, this is a bitmap, the simple bitmap for marble texture, and this marble is not really 100% accurate. It is just like a stony marble, not really much reflective. So what I kind of have what I have here is it's this one it is the same bitmap. What I've done here with this node, I have applied a color correction node to desaturate it and control the black and white levels a little. And then there is a noise node. You can see this kind of very basic noise. And this one is a composite where I am multiplying these two. And then the result, I'm clamping it. It is not clamping is not really a necessary step, but it is something I like doing. What clamping does is it clamps your white values to 1 and the black values to 0. It doesn't let them go beyond 1 or 0. That sometimes happen because of the 32-bit math of these softwares. Don't want to be talking about that very much. Not really, doesn't really matters. And then your bitmap goes into your diffuse, and this output goes into your bump and the glossiness of your reflection. And as you can see, I have given this a reflection value 200 white. That is like a really good reflection value. And the reflections, which are further controlled by this map, which is this. So this is kind of like a PBR approach in a very traditional V-Ray way. And so the same method goes for everything that I have done for all the materials. Here also I have a single bitmap, and you can see the same bitmap goes here. Same color correction node to make desaturated and control the black and white levels, and then again noise. So what I did here to make more variation is that I took a noise node and applied a second noise node into the darker color of this noise node to create a little bit more variation. Damn autosave always. So if I disconnect it, you can see the difference come out. So this is like a very basic noise, and to add some more variation, I bumped in another noise inside of this. You can clearly see the difference like very much. And then same thing over here, I'm multiplying this map with this map, and then again a clamping output. And this is just something I did for a little bit of stylizing. I just inverted this output that I got from previous ones to insert it into bump, because it doesn't really matter. Bump could be like anything for now. I mean, I'm not really going for a much realistic result. It's always gonna be stylistic, so like stylized. So I have the creative advantage over here, so I could do like anything as long as it looks good. So, and then again this one has the same reflection value, like 200 to white, and then again into the reflection glossiness glows your this map to control the reflections. Let me show you how it would look without this map and this. Like, this would be a really perfect material which unfortunately cannot exist in the real world. But we are not really talking about the real world, we are talking about a stylized world where still I don't want to be having a shader like this, any material like this, which would be perfectly reflecting its environment. So this one goes back into the bump, and I don't want to be having it like really flat, so that's why this one goes into the bump, and to create surface imperfections like bumps on the surface, and then this one goes again inside this reflection glossiness to create the surface imperfections of the reflection of the environment. Then again, this one is for the floor, and this is the same noise from the previous one, like these three nodes. I just copied them, dragged them here, and inserted them to bump and reflection at the same time to have a slightly more reflective floor than the previous ones. So there is this, and this one, these are a couple of SDRIs that I wanted to have, but I did not end up in using them. HDRIs like help really a lot with rendering. You should mostly start with just a single HDRI and see how your light is going according to this, and then build up your light setup further after that. So if this doesn't make sense to you, I will talk about it sometime later, but not in this session, or it's gonna be unnecessarily long, and no one likes to watch a man trying to say a lot about his own work. I mean, that's really pathetic. And this is the light material that is applied to these crystals and those music icons. So just a simple V-Ray light material with increased intensity. And what I have here, this is another noise node, and I got a couple of gradients into both of these colors. Like it's again, this is like a turbulent noise, and which I pumped up with different gradients to have like this colorful psychedelic effect, and which is pumped directly into the light color of this node, so that this color is basically what light that material is gonna be emitting. So I like to have weird colors like this. I don't like to have like really flat emissive colors in my environment or anything I render. So this is just for that. Really nothing but a stylizing approach by me, nothing else. So this is pretty much all of the so this is actually all of the material setup. There are no any other material used in the scene. And then about the volume fog, I am using this V-Ray environment fog effect. I have a slightly bluish fog color, and this distance is what I got from measuring from this tape tool. So this was like around 1100 something, so I used an approximate value of 1200, and I'm scattering the GI inside of that fog. What this means is that the lights in the scene will scatter because of the presence of the fog. Like they will spread in the fog and color the fog itself. So this option is for that. The more bounces you have, the better result you get. For the sake of computation, I have set it to only 3 bounces, and it's quite alright. And nothing really fancy here in the environment effect. The rest of the settings are all default except for the step size. It is a bit lower. I increased it up to 8. I had no idea, but I did it anyway, so not gonna be talking about that. And density is by default 100. I just bumped it down to like 10, and all of this is the default, and these two I already talked about them. And close it out, and let me just quickly switch my Ethernet. A lot of trouble just for the internet. Things falling on my table. La 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 la. Oh man. Ethernet successfully switched. So this is all of the setup inside 3ds Max. And for the rendering, let me show you my render setup as well. So I'm using 3 Next for 3ds Max. And all of this rendering, it was done on the GPU, and my frame size was not this small. It was it was 960 by 540, and you can see these three are on. And then we go to the V-Ray tab. Samples limit, this is just the render settings. I didn't use these. It was like my render settings were these when I rendered this. Yep, this, and yeah, rays per pixel they were 64 when I rendered. And then about the render elements, let me just delete all of these, and I'm gonna set them up again. So the render elements you're gonna be needing for these for this kind of scenes are just hit on this add button, and the passes you want are firstly the atmosphere. You're gonna be having the bump normals, which I'm gonna talk about just ahead a little bit. You can have the Cryptomatte, but I didn't have any use for it, so I didn't take out a Cryptomatte pass. And then you want to be having the V-Ray denoiser. You want to have the V-Ray diffuse filter. Diffuse filter, again, it is not for the purpose of using the diffuse from this. It is for another purpose which I'm going to be talking about. And you want to be having the GI. You got to have the lighting, and we will also have light select. I will add it separately in the end, because you will need like light select for all of the lights available in the scene. So I'm gonna be adding this 4 times. That will be in the last. And you want to be having the reflection. Since there is no refraction in the scene, so I'm not gonna be taking this pass. And we don't need render ID, we don't need all of these, we don't need shadows. Yeah, we need self-illumination, because these crystals and the music symbols, they are illumination materials, so you need to be having self-illumination. You want specular, no subsurface scattering, so we don't want this. And there is no animation, so no need for the velocity pass, no need for the wire color. And you're gonna be having Z depth, and that's it. Okay, now for the light select, select this, hit OK, and just scroll down like this and click on add, and pick the lights you want to be adding for the light select pass, and type include select by lights. And you don't want to be having this to full. We need direct illumination for this, because if we set this to full, this will include the GI calculated by these lights inside of this light select pass, which we don't want, because we already have a separate and dedicated GI pass for this image, which if we didn't have that, we could have used this full. But since we are also having the GI pass, I'm going to be using just the direct illumination for this, which is just the direct lighting caused by these lights, and no scattering or no reflection or no bouncing inside the scene. So just the direct lighting. So this is the first one. Make sure to rename them. And another light select, add, select this, make sure to rename. Rest is the same, hit add again, light select, okay, and both of these, make sure to rename them. Just all of the different lights you have in your scene, you want to be having them separately. And light select again, okay, touch, click add, hit H on the keyboard, and you're gonna these both. They are these two lights, these two IS lights that are lighting the coffin. And then again, you want to be having all of them set to direct illumination. Direct, direct, direct. Okay, and now about this denoiser. So let's talk about this denoiser node. So this denoiser render pass. What this element is used for is this render element. The use of this render element is that it can denoise your all of your individual render elements, as well as your final beauty pass. So if you have less computational power in your arsenal, you can use this denoiser pass to be denoising your individual render passes in your individual render elements, or your final beauty pass if you want to simply use that as your end result. So this is like this is really helpful, and you have a couple of settings in this. There are a couple of these denoising engines. The NVIDIA denoiser, which needs a dedicated NVIDIA GPU installed in your system, and the default Viri denoiser. This can work on it's not really GPU accelerated. This one is GPU accelerated. It uses the GPU, and this one is done on the CPU, I believe. So you can have any. I mean, this is another topic that we're gonna be talking about really much, but the further is up to you to research. I'm not gonna be talking much about this because there can be like very much talk if I go to compare these two, and the reason why I selected these, and damn, autosave again, hitting escape. Why we have these two render elements is that they help these two render elements help the denoiser element to denoise your render. I'm gonna you can just search it. I mean, it is like a big topic, so, and already I have wasted 30 minutes talking about all of this, and it will get really long, and it's not really a very much interesting topic. It's more like a technical topic which most people don't really care about, but still I'll just show you the differences between the two engines, and why we need the diffuse filter and the bump normal pass. Just type this in Google, and oh man, just go to one of these links and you're gonna find the answer. I would recommend this one. I think I must have opened it in this. Here we have it. Anyway, I'm not going to be discussing this now. If you want to know about this, you can contact me anytime. So, with this, with all of these render elements, you can just hit the production render. And one thing more, the sampler by default is set to progressive. You don't want to be having that in your final render. Just set it to bucket. It is a more efficient way of rendering your image, and you want to be reducing the noise threshold. You want to having this value and this value here, and the subdivs in the light cache. This is not the default value. The default value is 1000, but you can leave it at 1000, but since I have a good GPU, I took it up to 2500. It gives just a better result. So this is your render settings and your render element setup. You can just hit the render production. So let me show you my frame buffer. Like this is my older render. As you can see, there is much noise, and this is, I didn't denoise this. You can see no denoising pass. So this is your different oh yeah, one thing more I didn't discuss about the Z depth. How you measure Z depth is by simply using this tape tool. You can find this inside of helpers, standard, and this tape. You can just then click and drag in the direction you want it, and it's gonna measure the distance for you. You can just go to the modifiers and check this length value. So what Z depth is actually is the distance from your camera to the end of your scene, which you have to enter inside of your Z depth values to get a depth result. Like you can see, by default it is this value, but we had this value in the tape, which is the distance from your camera to the end of your scene. So that way the Z depth is calculated. It is a black and white map, and there it is. So just hit render and you're gonna see all of your render elements inside your frame buffer, like these. So this is up for 3ds Max. Now let's get inside of Nuke. Closing Max. I'm not gonna save this because already I've talked about it. Nuke. Oh, one thing I forgot again. How to save a multi-channel GXR from 3ds Max. Let me just show you that as well. What kind of music is playing? Damn it, the music. No. We opening the recent com. Open recent com. So this is my older comp, which I'm gonna show you. I'm not going to discuss what I have done over here. I'm just gonna do all of this stuff again with the EXR. So here you can just simply see light passes, GI, reflection, specular, illumination, atmosphere, and then this is just an extra tweak. So if you want to save all of these channels into a single EXR image, you there's the save icon. Just left click on it for a while, and these three options are gonna pop up, and you have to select this last one, save to single file. As you can see, it's already set to EXR, and just rename this and select save. Wherever you want to save this, just hit save, and it's saved. So one thing important before we get into Nuke as well, you want to be having your alpha channel included in your EXR, otherwise it is gonna cause a lot of compositing problems in Nuke. That is just the way Nuke works. You need to have an alpha pass in your channels, because without alpha the math inside of Nuke, it doesn't really work properly. So you need to have an alpha pass. This is like the most important thing before you get into compositing of all of this 3D stuff. You want to be having an alpha, just remember this. Now you're just gonna keep scratching your head when you're compositing, and you're gonna have different results, and you won't be able to figure out what went wrong. And the thing going wrong would be your alpha channel is missing. I'm gonna open a new com. Oh, come on. I'm gonna minimize this one. Hit R on your keyboard to open a read note, and it's gonna locate it. I saved it to my desktop, I guess. Go to home and find where's the desktop. Well, you're not really gonna see it here because it's not in this drive. Goes like. Anyways, I'm not gonna open that one. I'm gonna open up mine. Although it says the same, but because I remember where I have it saved and it's easily accessible, I'm just gonna open up that one. This one. Hit open. Hit tab and select the layer contact sheet. Select this one. Space bar. So these are all the passes that we have in our multi-channel EXR, and we're gonna be using these to build that end result from what we have over. So spacebar again. Let's just delete this, and I'm gonna put a workspace to floating because I like to work like this. Close this. I'm gonna split this, and this is gonna be my properties tab. It's already set to 1. That's good. So before going ahead anywhere, you hit it on your keyboard and you want to be setting your project size, which is always a good step. So it's 960 by 540, and just hit tab and drop a shuffle. Just hit a dot, and this one will come out inside this there. You can leave with that one, doesn't matter right now. Select your first shuffle, double click, and firstly you want to shuffle out your lights. Like we have this, and rename your node according to it. Shuffle again, connect it there, double click, select it sequence wise, doesn't really matter, but still it just looks good. Doing anything in a systematic way, it's always a good step, even if it's not worth anything, it's just a good practice. You wanna be doing that. Well, it's still on. And shuffle again. And these are your light passes. Hit L to align them, drop them somewhere in a corner. After this, you want to shuffle out your GI pass, your global illumination. Global illumination with GI. After this, you want to be having your reflections. Oh man. Specular. Illumination. And lastly, your atmosphere. Select all of this, hit L so that it looks good. Like this. Yeah, you go to the side. Firstly, you wanna be building these light passes. I'm gonna just drop a backdrop to them. And then hit M on your keyboard to get a merge node, which we haven't set to plus. And for the first point, you can just add them together. And if you view this, it is this. So when I did my render at that time, in the light select passes it was selected to full, so because of that you can see that the global illumination caused by these lights is also included in the pass, which actually I shouldn't use this, but I have a separate lighting pass. Actually I'm going to use that. Let me just delete this, drag it outside, shuffle, another shuffle. I'm gonna shuffle out my lighting pass. So this is actually the lighting, but you can see in the full mode of the light select there is also the GI, whereas if you see in this, okay, like that. What was that? Damn bugs in these softwares. So I'm just gonna be simply using this lighting pass because we're not gonna change much out of this lighting, and if you wanna, I will just use these lighting passes as the matte to affect particular lights. We'll get in that later, so let's get comping them together. Drop a merge. So all of these, they're gonna just be added together, so every time a plus merge will be used, you can just copy it, paste, and this one can go here as well. This one with this one goes in this, goes in this, goes in this, goes in this, this is your end result, and just hit control to get these kind of things. Kind of just looks good overall. Arrange these as well. So like this, just keep it really clean and neat, no need to be really fairy. So if you click on this, you can see we already have our result. Like we had here, oh actually I think yeah, actually there was another issue in my atmosphere pass. You can see there is no scattering of the GI. I mean there is no scattering of light with all of the crystals and the music boxes and everything. There is no light scattering in this pass. I don't know why it wasn't calculated. There must be some issue, something that I missed or something else, but I'm gonna make up for that later. I'll show you. So here we have a basic comp set together. So right now this one, now it's up to the process where you want to be thinking about how creative you want to be with this and where do you want to take this. So firstly, if you zoom in, you can see there's like quite a lot of noise, and first thing that we're gonna do is gonna be denoising. So as you can see in this lighting path, there is noise. Actually this is not that much. We're not gonna be denoising our lighting. It's actually fine, this one can go. And in this GI you can see there's like quite a lot of noise. So we're gonna take a denoise node, and what this requires is in this square area you have to set the square area to an area of constant noise, like somewhere here, maybe an area like this where there is constant noise, you can see. And then you come into these settings and you can set this modulated to constant. You can hit lift blacks, profile will be constant. You could also choose an automatic profile, but I think better result comes with constant one. And straight away you can see if I disable this node and with the node disabled, with the node enabled, you can see this is the denoised result and this is the actual result, and this is the denoised result. So this is a really handy node. I quite use it a lot. It's one of my favorites that are there. Additionally, you can hit these, all of these settings, and you can increase the denoising amount like this, and I think this much is enough for the sake of this demonstration. This much is enough. You don't want to be overdoing this as well, because then it is going to just smooth out all of your entire scene and you're going to lose your sharp details. So let's see, we're going to view this pass. As you can see, there's noise here as well, and just going to copy this and just going to paste it here. I'm going to select this and I'm going to change the sample area for this reflection pass. I'm going to choose this one, and straight away you can see if I disable, enable, the result, like it's really cool. Good thing to have in your arsenal. And in specular you're not gonna be having much, not any noise in the illumination as well. Although in the atmosphere you're gonna be having some, so I'm just gonna copy this one again and just gonna paste this here as well. Straight away you can see the difference is the noise. So now if we view this, we have a really clean image with a lot less noise, and this much is actually enough. uh, it's quite okay, not much noticeable. I'll just zoom in too much. So at this level I want to be thinking about what I'm gonna do. With the result I have right now, I'm just gonna finish this really quickly now. So I'm not gonna go much about the original result. I'm just gonna show you how you can affect all of the so yeah, now you can. I mean, how do I put this? This is just a creative choice, and I really have no idea how to explain this. I think I'm just gonna go for the look I did get in the first result. So the first things first, what I want, the look that I was going for. Let me just lower the volume. So a couple of things I did to the last render was, what I thought should be there, like these crystals should be glowing a lot, like there should be an extra glow to them. Like right now there's no real glow to them, they are just shining opaquely, and this fog that's coming out of the windows, I wanted to have a little bit more definition to this, and the reflections that are caused by this light from the crystal, like this tinting that we see, I wanted to boost this as well. So those are the things we're gonna do, and firstly I'm gonna be pumping up the reflections of this, the reflections from the crystals, and if you see the reflection pass, this is all about the light reflecting from the crystals. So I'll use the same result again, and just hit G on the keyboard to drop a grade node, and this is basically the go-to node you use for everything inside of Mu. So for anyone that doesn't know it, so you can just hit. You can hit the gain up, and straight away I'll show you again. If you hit the gain up, you're just gonna see the reflections get pumped up themselves. And in the previous one, I had bumped up to like a lot like this. And it's almost a value of 3. So what gain does? It brightens your bright areas, and additionally you can drop down your white point. If you drop down your white point, the whites in your scene, the brighter things in your scene, they get pumped up as well. So a couple of tricks I made in that one to get this kind of increased reflection. And straight away you can see, if I enable and disable this node, the reflections from the noise, the reflections from the crystal, they have a really good impact on the scene now overall. So I like this result, so I'm gonna keep it, and after this on the atmosphere node, if you view this, I'm actually gonna tint these to be a little bit more blue, like I did in the previous one. So right now you can see they're like very light coming inside of coming inside the photo. It's like very white. I want to have a blues into them. So then again I'm going to do this again with the grade node. And if you want to tint anything, you can just on the white point you can just hit this color wheel and it will open up like this, and the result, the color opposite to the blue one, you're gonna have to select that. Like it's gonna be yellow for this one. Like you can have a result like this. Like now it's really blue, but I only want to be affecting the fog. I only want to be affecting the fog that's coming out from this. So for that I'm going to drag this mask and I'm going to drop it into my lighting pass. I think that wasn't really useful. I think it hasn't really tinted. The tint won't work now. Yeah, it will just now work on like really absolute values. Like you can go. Actually, I don't want to be doing it to the fog right now, I guess. You can just. Yep, that's like a lot. I'm not gonna be doing it to this one. Although you can drop the gain, or you can like lift up their darks like this. Yeah, you can like choke your what this left one does is that it chokes your black. If you decrease this, the darker scenes, the darker parts of your image, and then you can drop it like this, like just a little bit of blue I want to be having in this fog. Like I think this much is enough. So for the sake of this demonstration, this much is enough. And then what I did was I added an overall bloom to the scene, a bloom kind of like a glow. So on this node I'm gonna hit this glow. So now you can see. So what tint do you want to glow? You can choose here, and I'm gonna choose this like this pink tint. It will apply glow to the pink tints available in your scene. So, and I'm going to decrease the brightness a little bit, like 0.7 I think, and saturation is fine, and I'm gonna increase the size to like 25. I think that's good. Let me just disable, enable, yeah, yep, I like that. And then you can add another glow below. This one will be for your blue channels, and this tint one again, and I'm gonna be this time glowing for your blues. I'm gonna drop the brightness like a lot, like I think 0.4 is enough. And then I'm gonna pump up the I think this much is enough. I mean, I don't want to be getting in depth into the compositing thing right now, because I think this much is enough, and this is the kind of result that I got, although there were kind of more things that I included in that one. But you can't be talking about everything when you want, so this much is enough for now. And if you want to write them, if you want to save out this render, just W on your keyboard and it will bring out a write node, and hit this file icon. You can it will open up a directory where you can set up your file saving. Just name it demonstration, and in new you're going to be typing in the extension while you save, so that way it will automatically bring up the settings for that codec for you. And let's leave it all to default and hit render. One thing more I could tell you is the use of the ZDEP pass. You can hit tab and type in ZD focus. So this uses the ZDEP channel, as you can see, and you can see this focal point. You can just drag and drop it to wherever you want it your scene to focus on. Like right now you can see it's focusing on the crystal, and everything else has gotten blurred. And you can choose the type of blur. I like to have this blades one. It gives you a lot of settings in there, and you can increase or decrease the blur always with this, and the maximum value you can always pump it down. And if you want to see where your focal plane is, you can just select this with your focal plane, and if you're not happy with it, you can change it. What this means is actually you got to increase, I think I'm going to keep it 0, and let's see what the result is. Yep, it's like this, so I'm going to put it like right now the crystals are in focus, I guess. Let me just see the focus result. Yep, all of that will be in the focus. So actually it is the green thing that's in focus. Like if you increase the depth of field, you're going to see 3 different colors. So what's in green color is actually in focus. You can use it that way. Like right now the crystals are in focus, and if you do this and hit on the result again, you can see the crystals are now in good focus and everything else is blurred. If you pump up this maximum value, you're going to see that depth of field like acting really good. So that's how you use the ZD focus pass. And if you want to know more about it, you can tell me. And if you want to know more about anything that I have talked about in this demonstration, you can just tell me and I'll make dedicated demonstrations for that. So what the purpose of this demonstration is to show all of you guys that it's for me to know what all of you have problems with out there, and if I can help solve them, I'm really happy to make demonstrations about them. I have no issue. I like doing this. It's just speaking practice for me, so no issue with that. You can also do this. Actually, when I have it gain up and only white point drag down, so this way you can also increase this amount of outside light. So there are a lot of ways of doing simple things, and there are a lot of complex ways of doing simple things, and simple ways of doing complex things, and so on. So these topics are quite really big, and I think I've already gone very much long. No one's gonna watch it so further. So this is the setup that I had in this file and this render, and the way that I did this. So you can see it's not really a long thing when you have everything ready, and you should get to do more of this stuff. again. Drop the white point. Now increase the lights and like that's a lot fun stuff to do. As you can see, we don't want to be going overboard with things. Just don't go overboard. Lot of stuff you can do inside of this thing. Just keep building. So like a lot of stuff you can do. You can be talking about everything possibly. So yeah, a lot of stuff. So with this I will end this demonstration. I think I have had enough to say, and I think you're gonna be having an idea of lot of things you can do inside of compositing by getting out render classes for your renders, which is actually I think you should be doing, and that was actually the main purpose for this demonstration, to show that you should be doing this. So if you see my old one, I use the separate light passes. I also added and I also added in my light pass. So this is a complex build for the same thing that we did here. This is just a complicated build. If I get into floating one, like you can see it's a little different from that one, because there is a lot of stuff just going on, like degraining, regraining, glows. I also added back in the original image for some purpose that you can see. This is the kind of result that I had here. Like if I disable this, you can see this much part I pulled back from my older image. I denoised it as well. Added back into the comp for some extra pink or glow, and all of these go with this, like this atmosphere. You see it has a really good effect to it, and it is affecting this fog light that's coming in from the windows. So as I said, complex build for the same thing that we did out there. Yeah, you can see if I sibling all this, like this reflection really has a good impact. I had a couple of grades in this, like this, just increasing different tones of my image for the reflection, having in detail as well. Yeah, you can see like this. So all of these things, like you can do a lot. I haven't yet explored the good parts of this software yet, but even this much is quite overwhelming for me to have so much options and just rebuild everything that you do in 23D software. That's just a really good power you have in your hands. So we should be doing this more often. Really good thing to do. So with this I'm going to leave it out. I've already taken much long. So just get going with these things. It's just a good addition to your workflow and good time savers and all. So yeah, let's go. And another thing that I did that I'm not going to show in this demonstration is that my original render, it was this is the one we saved out this time, and as you can see, this is the original render, like the original composite that I got out. So the original render size was 960 by 540. What I ended up getting is a 4K resolution, and you can see there is no loss in quality at all. So if you want to know how, you can tell me. I'll make another demonstration for this. Right now I'm feeling really sleepy, but I gotta stay up all night anyway, so I think it's gonna be a good night for me, and whatever, I'm just gonna quit out now.